And so, the numbers are in. Inflation just hit 3.6% unexpectedly. It's higher than the so-called experts have predicted. It's the highest the UK has seen since January 2024. And it's been driven by the very things that you feel every single day. The price at the petrol pump, the cost of your food shop. And right on cue, like a perfectly rehearsed orchestra, the headlines are screaming at you. You've probably seen them. The cost of living crisis worsens, your food bill is soaring, prepare for mortgage pain. It's a narrative that has been carefully constructed to make you feel fear and to make you feel poor. And while you're sitting there worrying about the price of a loaf of bread or a pint of milk, the super rich, the 1%, the people who actually understand how the system works, they are looking at the exact same inflation number that you are, and they are not panicking. Instead, they're executing a plan. What if I told you that for a very small, very powerful group of people, this inflation spike is not a crisis? What if I told you that for them, it's an opportunity? What if I told you that inflation is one of the biggest, most effective, and most silent tools for transferring wealth from the hands of the many into the pockets of the few in all of modern history? The news cycle keeps you focused on your role as a consumer, as a victim of rising prices, framing you as a powerless pawn in a game that you absolutely have no control over. This fear creates predictable behavior. It makes you hoard the one thing that you think is safe, cash. It makes you sell off assets that you suddenly perceive as risky. And that fear, that panic creates the very market conditions that the wealthy are poised to exploit. So, let's talk about what the 1% know about that 3.6 figure that most of you probably have not figured out yet. In order to understand their playbook, the one that they actually use, you first need to understand the trap that they've laid for the rest of us. It's a set of rules, a financial common sense that they drill into us from the moment we're old enough to understand what a pound is. The responsible things to do with your money. And it's a rule book that's specifically designed to make you lose. Trap 1. Save your money. What's the very first lesson that they teach you? Be a good citizen. Be responsible. Save your money. Put it in a savings account. Build a nest egg. Watch it grow. It sounds so smart, doesn't it? So prudent. But it's a lie. It's a trap. Let me explain inflation in the simplest way possible without any of the jargon that can be used to confuse you. You see, inflation just means that your cash is losing value. Simple. That £10 note in your wallet will buy you less stuff next month than it does today. It's a silent, invisible tax on anyone who holds cash. And so, when the official inflation rate is 3.6% and your high street savings account is paying you, 1%, maybe 2% if you're really lucky and you absolutely shopped around, you are not saving, you are actively losing money. Think about it. Your money is on a treadmill that is basically moving backwards at a speed of 1.6% every single year. You are getting poorer, slowly and silently, all the while you think you are doing the responsible thing. The rich know this. They live by it. They have a mantra for times of high inflation. And that mantra is, cash is trash. You see, while official bodies and mainstream financial advice are encouraging millions of people to hold huge sums of money in cash, basically the Financial Conduct Authority or the FCA found in a 2002 survey that over 4 million people have over £10,000 in cash savings. The wealthy are doing the exact opposite. Trap number 2 is to avoid debt. Now, for the second rule in the trap, the one that's even more insidious, it says debt is bad. They say it over and over again. Debt is a bad 4-letter word. Get out of debt. Stay out of debt. Fear debt. This is something I've even heard from friends and colleagues at work, people with college degrees. And look, let's be absolutely crystal clear on this point. High interest unsecured debt, the one with credit cards of 25% APR, payday loans, buy now, pay later schemes that lure you in. That stuff is an absolute disaster. It's a form of modern day servitude designed to extract your future earnings and keep you poor. Please avoid it like a plague. But here's the masterstroke of misdirection. They tell you to avoid all debt. They cleverly lump that soul-crushing consumer debt in with another kind of debt entirely, the kind that they use every single day to get richer. This isn't just simplistic advice. It's a form of financial gatekeeping, By conflating good debt used to buy assets with bad debt used for consumption, the system basically creates a deep-seated fear of leverage in the average person. You see, leverage is one of the most powerful wealth-building tools ever created, and this fear prevents you from even considering its use. It's a psychological barrier that keeps the 99% out of the game, and it preserves the powerful tool of leverage for those who are already wealthy and financially sophisticated. And they know the secrets about that good debt, secrets that come alive when inflation starts to rise. Secret one is to use debt as a weapon. Now, this is the biggest one, the one that flips every piece of conventional wisdom that you've ever been taught onto its head. You see, for the wealthy, high inflation doesn't make their debt scarier. No, it makes them cheaper. Inflation is their debt-destroying secret weapon. Not making any sense? Well, think about it logically. Let's say that you have a big long-term fixed-rate loan, the most common example being a mortgage on a property. So you borrowed, say, £200,000 3 years ago. Those were expensive pounds. They had a lot more purchasing power back then. You could basically buy more with them now. But you are paying that loan back today and for however long your mortgage deal lasts with cheaper pounds, pounds that have been systematically devalued by inflation. Think about it. The actual number on your bank statement, let's say £1,000 monthly statements, it stays the same throughout the period. But the real value of that £1,000 is shrinking every single day. Inflation is silently paying off a portion of your loan for you in real terms. And so what do the wealthy do with this knowledge? They don't run from debt, they run towards it. They take on huge amounts of what they call good debt, long-term fixed rate loans. And they use it to buy assets that go up in value or produce an income. They'll borrow millions to buy an office building or a portfolio of buy-to-let properties or an entire company. They understand the beautiful arbitrage at the heart of the system. The value of the asset that they've bought will inflate over time, while the real value of the debt that they've used to acquire it actually deflates. It's a perfect government-sanctioned pincer movement on wealth creation. Secret 2 is to own things, don't earn money. Now, this one sounds strange, but hear me out. Now, you're taught to work for money, right? To get a job, climb the ladder, fight for a pay rise. But you see, your salary, your wages will almost never keep up with the true rate of inflation. It's a constant, exhausting losing battle. You're negotiating for a 4% pay rise while the official figures show that your food costs are up 4.5%, your utility bills are up more, and the real cost of living is climbing even faster. While you're focused on earning, the rich are actually focused on owning. They don't try to out-earn inflation. They own the very things that cause inflation. Let that sink in for a moment. You see, they don't just shop at the supermarket, they own the shares in the supermarket's parent company. And so when the price of everything on the shelves, go up, that extra money that will flow directly to them in the form of higher corporate profits, bigger dividends, and rising share prices. They don't complain about their rising energy bills. Instead, they own shares in the same utility companies that are sending out those bills. They don't just pay rent. They own the apartment block and they watch as rental income rises in lockstep with inflation, in many cases outpacing inflation. They own the source, not the product. They specifically seek out companies with what they call pricing power. You see, these are businesses that sell things that you cannot or will not live without. Consumer staples from giants like Unilever, the pint of Guinness or the bottle of Smirnoff from Diageo. These companies can pass their rising input costs, materials, wages, energy, directly onto you, the consumer, without a significant drop in their sales. They are as inflation-proof as they come, basically. In fact, there's growing evidence that some of the most powerful corporations out there, they use inflation as a cover story to expand on their profit margins even further. It's a phenomenon that some are now calling greed inflation, or greedflation rather. When you own a piece of these businesses, you're actually on the winning side of that transaction. You are no longer a victim of rising prices. Instead, you are a beneficiary. Secret number 3, they buy when there's fear. Now, remember that orchestra of panic that we talked about at the beginning of this video? The screaming headlines and the market analysts with worried faces. For the wealthy, that's not noise. It's a signal, actually. You see, When inflation news hits that it's gone up and the market has a bit of a wobble, what does the average person with a few shares in their pension do? Well, they get scared. They listen to the news, they panic, and they start selling. They run for the perceived safety of cash, the very cash that is being eaten alive by inflation. What do you think the wealthy are doing at that exact moment? Well, they are buying with both hands. They basically see a sale. They see high quality assets, fantastic companies with unshakable pricing power, prime real estate in desirable locations. They're basically being sold at a discount, funded entirely by our collective fear. They're not buying the hype when everyone is greedy. They are buying the pessimism when everyone is scared. They understand that economic cycles come and go. They know that inflation will eventually be tamed, and they know that recessions end and the markets will eventually recover. But great businesses or a well-located piece of property is a long-term wealth-generating machine. And the fear of that crowd provides the single greatest opportunity to acquire those machines for pennies on the pound. These 3 secrets are not just a list of tips. They are a unified symbiotic strategy. It's basically a closed-loop system where each part reinforces the others. You see, the debt provides the leverage to buy the assets. The assets provide the hedge against the inflation that erodes the debt. And as for the market fear, well, that provides the discounted entry point to deploy the strategy. It's a coherent 3-step process. Leverage with debt, acquire the right assets, and time your entry with fear. So now you see it, don't you? You see the game for what it is. Because this isn't just, some story about prices going up because that's what they sell you on the 10 o'clock news. No. The reality is that inflation, by its very design, is a massive, silent, and brutally efficient tool for the transfer of wealth. It is a system that actively, mechanically moves money from people who save cash to people who own assets. It moves money from people who earn a wage to people who own the company. It moves money from lenders to borrowers. It's basically a regressive tax on the poor and the middle class to benefit the asset-owning rich. Now, this isn't some wild conspiracy theory that I made up. The data is right there in plain sight if you know where to look. Think tanks like the Resolution Foundation and IPPR have published reports showing exactly how this works on a grand scale, and I'll provide the links in the description box below. They've shown how corporate profits for a tiny fraction of the most powerful firms have exploded massively, amplifying inflation, while the real wages for ordinary people like you and me have stagnated and, basically fallen for years. They've documented how wealth inequality is not just a side effect of inflation. Basically, inflation is a primary driver of wealth inequality. It widens the gap, it makes the rich richer, and it leaves everyone else further behind. Now, I can't give you financial advice because that's not what this is, and I'm not qualified to do so. But I can tell you this, start questioning everything. Because whenever a headline elicits very strong emotions, like panic, question it. Question the common sense financial advice that tells you to be safe and to be responsible by hoarding an asset like cash that is designed to lose its value over time. Start educating yourself. Learn the difference between an asset and a liability. Learn the difference between good debt and bad debt. Start thinking like an owner, not just a consumer, not just a saver, not just an employee. So the next time you're in a supermarket and you see the price of milk has gone up again and you hear the news that inflation is rising, don't just ask, how much more is this going to cost my wallet? I want you to ask a different question, a better question. You need to ask, who is getting rich from this? If you got any value from this content, please give it a like. Subscribe if you want to see more like this, and let me know in the comment section below how you manage the effects of inflation. Bye.